Hello everyone, and welcome back to another WARNO video, a video that I have been waiting for quite a while, as we're gonna look at the latest Army General trailer. We got a dev blog with it as well. You can find both down below. We're gonna watch without the soundtrack because that is copyright, and we would get a strike otherwise. But let's have a look, as this trailer has a lot of cool things that are not in the dev blog, and a lot of cool mechanic insights and so on about how all of this will play. First of all, cool transition here. And yep, let's have a look into all of this here. June 20th, 1989. Yeah, here, for example, first things first, we see NATO and Pact. And we also see some other nations here already. Italy, Denmark, Netherlands, Romania, Hungary. Potential nations to come? Question mark. That is pure speculation. We haven't heard anything about that. We just know that Norfolk and Southwark will come, but Italy and Romania and co would be cool. Would love to see that. Would really love to see that. Yeah. Outside of that, this here is just the intro video where we'll see some nice little snippets. All of the campaigns will have videos. We will get 5 campaigns in the base game. They will launch this one here first, and it will be versus AI only. We will have versus campaign and co-op campaign eventually, but Matt said at the beginning this one will, when it comes out, only be playable against the AI, but both with NATO and with Pact. And then here we come to the first cool feature, which they also explained in the dev blog, is that you can now check out all the units directly. You also see their points costs here immediately. This unit seems to be 0 points cost, which is quite interesting. Up top, and you can check for each individual formation, or for part of a formation even, how many units there are still left, and what they are set up of. And yeah, how many, for example, here we have 3 Akatsias. Yeah, economy working a bit different in multiplayer, balancing tanks all cost the same, for example, and so on. So an M1A1 will be outright better than a T55 here, and not based on efficiency. Here we see, first of all, the front line is still here. There seems to be an engagement zone as well. And then we see 12 turns. They said each turn will be 1/3 of a day. There will be morning, noon, and evening phase for each day. We have no further information about this yet, but I hope that it also impacts the lighting on each map, depending on which time of the day you play it on. And on the top right, we see what the goal of the game will be. We will have a scoring point reach of 50. And under this here, we have 5 points per capture of Bad Hersfeld and Alsfeld, and then +2 victory points. There will be other ways of victory points as well. One we will see. I'm not sure if you get some for destruction or so of enemy units as well. That hasn't been said. And then something else that is interesting here is that we see numbers on these units. Up on the top, you see movement number. Up in the bottom, you see attack and defense values that we will. And this defense value here at the moment is named as 11, but as the unit gets engaged, it will jump up to 14. So there seems to be a number there based on terrain or so as well that gets added, which is an interesting little insight there as well. And yeah, here we check the units again. Another thing down below here is that we have fatigue being a part of all of this as well. There is no insight about how fatigue works yet, but cool to see. Another nice layer, I guess, to show combat efficiency decaying over time when units get attacked next to supply. There might be something like a morale system, which we will get to later as well. So all of this is quite nice to show the overlying arch. Up here we have the victory points, 10 versus 0 at the moment. And yeah, now we will see the first auto-resolve here, as the Airgeschwader will be brought in as well. And then we will see the results of the auto-resolve, which is indicated over here, a minor defending victory. You see the percentage of losses, percentage of wins. Auto-resolve in general seems to be a lot more easy to understand, and with the basic working with the basic numbers below, and a bit of die rolling. And yeah, here it's a minor victory for the defender, losing 70% of their forces, whilst the winner loses 32% of theirs. And yeah, you see some fatigue being added here as well. 1 fatigue to the defender, 3 for the attackers. Attackers in general just seem to get more. And then you see some direct numbers here as well. 54 infantry units out of 96. How exactly they will be applied and which units will get which damage, I guess, is a bit random. But yeah, more information's most likely when we get deeper into this. Will be interesting to see how that works. Up top, you also now see a fatigue meter, I guess. With this unit having 3 fatigue, this unit having 2, I guess. Or something like that. Yeah, units moving around, using up their movement points on the top. And here we have another cool feature which they explained in the dev blog as well, is that we don't have incoming reinforcements like in Steel Division that you buy with points that are set to come in, and that you only you come in at a specific date and then you can buy them there, which led really little room for individualization and like separation between runs, because it was always the kind of same units. Here you have always choices between different units, or not always. You will also get normal reinforcements, but you don't have to buy them anymore. And then you have these kind of choices to differentiate each run and also like fitting it better to your strategy. Here, for example, the player chooses between the Raketen Artillerie-Lehr-Bataillon 22 and the Aufklärungsbataillon 5. And you also see their stats: 5 attack, 2 defense, and 4 attack, 3 defense here. So that you know what kind of unit you get here. Nice addition of these numbers. I really like that. It's a nice little detail there, allowing you to make a choice here. That came in Homburg, immediately moved in there, immediately got surrounded, got fuel. Fuel seems to be a thing here once more. If you're behind enemy lines, you're cut off from supply and you run out of fuel. That seems to be immediately kicking in there as well, which is nice. Here we have some major attacking victory. Yeah, 11% losses here on the attacking side, 42 on the defending side. Heavy fatigue put on top for fatigue. Yeah, heavy losses in general. So unit pushed back. And this is interesting as well, as some of the choices just seem to be outside of just units. But here, for example, it's victory points. Maybe others add fatigue or so. Like, I guess there's a lot of things that you can play and toy around with in this kind of scenario. And that is pretty nice as well. Like, here you can just choose to not take the reinforcements, but instead just take the victory points. No need for outside help. Like, yeah, these units can be used elsewhere on the front, role-playing like that, basically. And helping out with the victory in general here in in-game battles. And yeah, here you see planes which have the same kind of stats, and they come in as well. I hope Auto Resolve takes into account when it comes to losses if the enemy has AA or not. That would be interesting to see, because the losses seem to be split like relatively generally, and it would be a bit of a shame if you lose planes if the enemy just doesn't have any AA around. I hope Eugen is accounting for that. That would be nice. Up top, you see now how it looks beforehand with the amount of points allocated, and then you, depending on you changing it up, the outcome also changing. Now it's saying it's a draw potentially, and yeah, then it's being played as a tactical battle this time around, where you also see some interesting thing: combat group resilience, total morale 75 per battalion. So yes, there is a morale thing. How exactly it works, how exactly you lose it, that's still open. You see your deployment points at the beginning and per minute. As I said, the economy is working a bit different. And you can also switch that around between player and AI, which is really cool. Because in Steel Division, one major issue was if you only wanted to play one cool battalion, you also only got 1/4 of the income. Here you can choose between giving it to the player or taking it yourself, to the AI or taking it yourself. But you also, if you think like this Panzergrenadier battalion is way more important than the other 3, but I want to leave the other that to the AI over here. But I want to bring all of this as fast as possible. Then you can give yourself all the points, bring these guys out fast, whilst the AI can support you, but has less points. You can allocate that freely, and that is really cool. Hopefully will work nicely in multiplayer as well. yeah, wonder how that would be with multiple players. I guess for that, all of that, they still need to get some UIs going on and so on. So that is most likely one of the reasons why we don't get multiplayer from the get-go. And then we see something in battles, and that is really cool as well. Is we know the map already. This map we have seen before. This is Rift. It's in a night version here as well. But what we haven't seen so far is it in the setup. Like, this is a completely new setup. It's way different than what Conquest usually would like in multiplayer. Currently a +7, and yeah, slow income here, and 1 minute tick, so it's basically normal Conquest in that regard, but the spawn zones are completely different, and the defending zones are different as well, and it would be really cool if that depends on what kind of engagement, and like the spawning side depends on where they come in, like from, if they come in from the east, from the west or so on each map. That would be really cool. And yeah, we have down below here, I guess, the morale. 206 for the defender, 352 for the attacker. It seems to be like there might be some appliance on multiplicators and so on there as well. But no more info here. Big question is just how well all of this will play. Like, how do you lose morale? It doesn't seem to be indicated super well, if it's just based on losses or so. Could be interesting though. Like, I'm really looking forward to the morale system. I believe morale, fatigue, and supply are really nice features for such a grand campaign, making this all look bigger. And yet, then we have a victory here. Once more, a choice there. It was between seed planes or the A10s, which we see here now in action. And yeah, one more tactical battle here with units added. The numbers changing. And then we end up on something nice as well, which is a new map on this last look here, which also just looks fantastic. Like, super cool intro here. I'm absolutely hyped for all of this. And this is a map we haven't seen so far, or at least we haven't gotten to play around yet. Wonder if it looks like one of the urban maps. They said urban combat will be a big part, and if you're in an urban area, you will end up on an urban map. And we also will get this small one that they said was too small for 1v1, but will be added to the campaigns, so we're looking forward to this as well. But this one here, once I zoom out, it looks pretty massive, so I don't believe it's that one. It seems like it is a different one, and that is quite nice. Like, looking forward to all the maps here as well. The M1s here rolling forward, and Army General sounds like a really cool feature and a nice improvement over Steel Division. Still a couple of question marks here for sure. Like, for example, auto resolve needs to be better in Steel Division, and it looks like it is, but it still seems maybe room for improvement. And I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you do as well. If you do so, maybe leave a like down below and let me know what you will play first, NATO or Pact, and why that is. And yeah, with that said, see you next time, guys.